Although Hot Toys put out some amazing figures in 2024, they also dropped the ball several times. Hi everyone and welcome to 16 Figure Focus, and in this video we're going to take a look back at 2024 and just go through some of the Hot Toys fails, some of the poorest things that they did in 2024. Maybe that's a stray head sculpt or bad cape or speckling or strange texture on a Batman or whatever. You know what's coming. So this is episode number 6 or video 6 in the 12 Days of Christmas 2024 playlist. If you haven't checked out the other 5 that were on the 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th and 29th, go check it out. So this is the 6th one out of 12 videos. I'll be putting out one at every single day of the 12 Days of Christmas at 5 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, midday East Coast and 9 a.m. West Coast. So yeah, look, Hot Toys is a fantastic company. They do some great stuff and I think they're getting better and better. Whether it's the sculpting, the paint applications, the separate rolling eyeballs function that's coming as standard, steps in the right direction with USB functionality, tailoring, their new artisan line, whatever, they're getting better and better and better. But they're kind of like a good athlete. They're only good as this last game. In this case, they're only good as their last release or head sculpt. So while they've put out some amazing figures, and I think this year of all, the prototypes for the announcements they made have been incredible. But if we just stick to releases, some like top of the range amazing stuff. You got your Bane, you got your Spider-Man red and blue final swing suit, you got your Artisan Joker. They're just off the top of my head. Things that came out this year that were just phenomenal. They've also dropped the ball on more than one occasion, right? For regardless of the reason. So we're going to go back to, I'm going to count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. These are Hot Toys' biggest misses of 2024. So these are released 1/6 scale figures that they dropped the ball on some sort of an aspect or aspects of the figure. So this one obviously on this one here, number 5. Now I put this one in as number 5. It's kind of, I kind of rated this in terms of how popular the figure was and how much of how egregious how big the problems were with it. Okay, so if something was a really popular character and that is like, you know, like a Superman or something like that, and they messed up like a head sculpt really bad, that'll be close to number 1 or 2 and so on. This comes in at number 5 because, look, let's face it, this movie wasn't good. I didn't do it for me anyway. I didn't really hear anyone screaming out that Ant-Man and the Wasp was a fantastic MCU movie or movie in general. I thought the general consensus was it was bad or it was very, very mid. Okay, I would lean it. It's not a good movie. Not a good movie. Now they have a problem getting Paul Rudd's head right. Like the last one they did was the kind of iconic. Now it is iconic. It's like a meme at this stage with this smiling head sculpt, which looked like a caricature of Paul Rudd in the Ant-Man costume more than anything else. This here now, I think the realism is good, as in, yeah, it does look like a real human being. You show this to someone really, really quick, take that hair out of the equation and people will go, yeah, it's a person. But I don't think they're going to say it's Paul Rudd, and I could be wrong on that. So while it does look real, as in the face does, it doesn't look like Paul Rudd. I don't think it looks like Paul Rudd at all. I think if I score this in terms of likeness to Paul Rudd, 10 being, you know, sharing DNA with him, and a 0 being nothing like him, I think I don't know, a 3 or 4, a 4 maybe. Like it can't be any more than a 5, can it? So this is one of the situations where they've dropped the ball. They should have done better on this. I actually thought the prototype was all right. I mean, I think I vaguely remember saying people didn't like the prototype, or they said it still had work to do or something like that, and then they kind of said the head sculpt wasn't final, but this is definitely taking a step away. I think if they got the prototype, people would have been happier. From what I remember, that looked like Paul Rudd. It was significantly better than that smiling sculpt, and then this is a miss. It doesn't look like him. Also, Hot Toys are fantastic at sculpted hair. They're getting better and better, but I'm not really seeing it in this particular head sculpt. There's a few fields for you. Are we still back? We're back. Okay. So this one here, coming in number 5, this is like their 5th worst thing that they did this year. And again, your list might be different to mine. This is just a completely subjective opinion. So that's what I have there for number 5. Not good. Number 4. Apologies for quick interruption to this video. If you're watching this video right now, hit the like button and more importantly, hit the subscribe button. It really helps me grow the channel and the support is greatly appreciated. Back to the video. I don't think this looks like Samuel L. Jackson. Now look, full disclosure, there was no way I was going to get this figure. Absolutely no way. It's not a good movie. It is, it's not like a a character I need in the collection. Like Ant-Man is, I like Paul Rudd. I'd love to have a pint with Paul Rudd, actually. I think that'd be fun. He comes across a really nice guy. He's quite funny. I like his portrayal of Scott Lang and Ant-Man and all that. And, you know, yeah, like I found the first two Ant-Man movies enjoyable, and his I suppose what his portrayal in Civil War and Endgame and stuff like that. I really liked the part he played. And the rest of this looks fine, but the head sculpt isn't good. So I wasn't going to get it anyway. This one here, I don't collect prequels. I don't particularly care for the prequels. They're alright. Yeah, it's not really for me. A bit of nostalgia bait and all that kind of stuff, but it's never going to be the original trilogy of Rogue One. But this here, like, a lot of people are crying out for this. People want their Jedi. They want their Plo Koon and their Kit Fisto and their Yoda and all that kind of stuff. And I get that. And this was one which I was kind of happy for a lot of my friends, my collecting friends in the community, the people like to say, like, I stream it or I message and stuff like that, and the diehard Star Wars fans, like, for the likes of, like, you know, Evil Sneaker or Figures and Fandom or Dilo and stuff like that, like, people who are, like, big into the Star Wars Jedi and stuff like that, great. But, like, unfortunately, I just think they've dropped the ball on this head sculpt there. It just doesn't look like Samuel L. Jackson to me, and this was a big ticket item, I think, that a lot of people were clamoring for and calling out for the longest time. So unfortunately, I think they've dropped the ball here. Now, maybe it's the type of thing that people just love the prequels so much and Samuel L. Jackson so much and Mace Windu's character so much, just like, okay, I'm willing to turn a blind eye. And there's even one on this list here that I had to do that for, and we'll get to that. So there's that number 4, that in terms of a drop the ball, kind of poor things they did, mistakes that they made this year. Coming in at number 3 then, I actually bought this figure. I'm a big fan of No Way Home. Tom Holland's my Spider-Man. I grew up on watching Tobey Maguire, but I never really cared for him. Same as Andrew. Yeah, I watched them, never really cared for him. I think Tom Holland's the first time they got Spider-Man right. That's going to open up a can of worms in the comment section. Go on, go nuts. Just an opinion. So this here, I was really looking forward to this because I thought, you know what, I'm going to get the 3 boys here. The integrated suit Tom Holland, the Tobey Maguire friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, then of course the Amazing Spider-Man. And I'm going to put them together in some sort of like meme pose or something like that, maybe even in the details, kind of part of my No Way Home display. Of course, I do have the final swing suit, Doc Ock, and I have the, I haven't got the upgraded Goblin, but I'm going to be. But this here, this was disappointing. The head sculpt prototype I thought was amazing. It was one of the reasons I was like, man, this is so good. Could I get these and put the 3 of them together? I had seen how Andrew turned out, and I wasn't too enamored how Andrew turned out. I hadn't ordered, I'd held off to wait to see it. And when it came out, I was like, right, I'm not too enamored with that. The integrated suit, I was kind of thinking, okay, it's not my favorite suit, but screen accuracy, the 3 boys together. So I hadn't actually pre-ordered that, but I went ahead with the Tobey. And I genuinely thought the Tobey had nailed it, and the Andrew nailed it, and I'd go ahead with this. But anyway, I got this in, I reviewed it, and I wasn't gonna. I don't think the head sculpt is bad. It definitely softened, unquestionably. But I still think the head sculpt is good. My problems with it was that the proportions were one thing that bothered me. Like, he's really small and skinny. And like, I watched No Way Home last night, actually. Yeah, I watched it last night. And like, Tobey Maguire, yeah, he looks older, fine, he's definitely older. But he didn't look out of place in the suit. He looked well in the suit. And like, was he jacked? No. But he was definitely not the physique that's here. He was definitely filled out the suit. I thought a lot better. I know there's probably, it's one of those suits would have, I know the bodysuits with the kind of muscles like built into them and stuff like that. I get that. But the proportions on this figure don't reflect the proportions that we saw on screen. Also as well, that neckline is actually really, really obvious. I like that they did this type of neck collar. That's what you want, because the last ones, remember, the integrated suit, if you pose the 3 of them together, that's another thing that put me off. If I was to pose the 3 of them together, and if I had the head sculpts off, the masks off, and well, if I was using the head sculpts for whatever reason, the integrated suit, the suit goes right up underneath. So instead of the correct one, like you can see on screen here with Tobey, where you just have the little slip, because when he puts on the mask, that covers up the rest of the neck. So that would look a bit strange as well. But yeah, the main reasons here, I thought he was a bit too small. I don't think the body proportions are accurate. That line underneath the neck collar, I get what they're trying to do, but that line was very aggressive, and also the mask as well with that seam line. So for those reasons, I was like, you know what? This isn't worth me investing in an Andrew, which I don't think they nailed either. And then the integrated suit, which has that old technology in. and then posing the three of them together is like, I can just save money here and just be happy enough with the final swimsuit, which is by far, like, I think this is the best, it's the best Tom Holland 1/6 scale Spider-Man ever made anyway. It could be one of the best Spider-Mans I've ever done in terms of the head sculpt, the separate rolling eyeballs function, the base, I love the design, the suit, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, this one, I thought this was one of their misses. Like there's parts of it, like the head sculpt, I do think the head sculpt's good, but I think that in terms of the figure overall, I think it's a miss, and they can do better. Bear in mind that like this company are fantastic, but they can do better on that. So that's number 3. The second mistake they made, now look, this is the only figure on the list that I bought that I actually have still. The only other one that I bought was a Toby, but I sold that on. This one here, you've heard all this before. This should have been better because this was a 2.0 as well. The problem with the suit, which you've heard over and over, you've heard in my review, you've heard a million different people talk about them, the texture on the suit was too heavy. They're too heavy on the texture. And look, I don't care what anyone else is saying he had the texture in the movie. Look, the only time I've ever seen that texture was looking at a bit of this 4K footage or something I saw, and you can see it. You can barely notice it. But for the majority of that movie, the way it was shot and the way the suit came up on screen, it looked smooth. So even if the texture is there, the texture in the suit is far too heavy on the texture, and it's not screen accurate. The cape is awful, but then again, par for the course with HotToys, unfortunately, they just don't do good capes. I like the cowl, but the face plates, this one is terrible. This looks nothing like Michael Keaton, and it's a goofy looking faceplate. Now, if you go back to the other ones, this one here, I can see where they're going from. Not exactly nailed it, but I can see what they're going for with the bloodied up look and that kind of smirk. But I just think that's a moment in the movie, and on the shelf, because it works in a moment in the movie, but on the shelf it just looks, I know a lot of people love this one. I just still think it looks goofy. The best plate, I think, God, that one's very poor. The best one, I think, is this one here. And again, they haven't, like if you look at it here, like something like that, that's kind of like that, yeah, I can see Keaton there, but they haven't nailed it. And I have to say, I think it's the DX09, the original version of this. I do think the likeness in the plates is better, I have to say. But the reason I've got this is because the 1989 Batman is the movie that made me fall in love with movies, and I probably wouldn't be collecting if it wasn't for 1989 Batman. Also, I can solve one of the problems by swapping out I don't like the fact that I have to do it, by ditching this cape and picking up a Jackson Chew custom cape type E-drape cape, which I did, and it looks incredible. You can get mouth plates as well. I don't know, maybe I'll go down that route, but because I'm so far away and it's not the entire head sculpt, it's just the chin, I'm actually happy enough with that mouth plate. I may pick up a Jackson or an Unreal Custom or whatever. I get that, and it's workable then. I'm just going to have to make my peace with, unfortunately, the texture on the suit. But at the same time, with its flaws, I still love the figure. When I look at it, I see that's Keaton 89. It is far from perfect, but I still really, really like it. It's not going to be winning figure of the year anytime soon. The base is incredible. I like that there's different sections of the base. You can pose it with the gargoyle off. The gargoyle rotates, and comes with a bunch of his little gadgets and stuff like that. But look, yeah, at the same time though, it's one of the misses of the year. I'm still happy with it. Well, I'm as happy as I could be. I'm happy I have an 89 Keaton, and when I look up, it's just posed up there behind me, and yeah, look, it's just a piece of my childhood. So very good. So just counting down from 5. Never had any interest in this. Head sculpt is poor. That's miss number 5. Coming in at their 4th biggest miss, does not look like Samuel L. Jackson. This one here, in fairness, the head sculpt is good, but for the body proportions and the seam and the mask and stuff and things that I mentioned, yeah, I got rid of this. Yeah, just very underwhelming figure. Their second biggest miss, I think, this, but their number 1 biggest miss this year. Their number 1 biggest miss. What they have done to this particular head sculpt, I think, is unforgivable. And remember, HotToys are an incredible company. I said at the start of the video, they are constantly improving on their sculpts, their likeness, their paint applications, their innovations, things like their separate eyeball, separate rolling eyeball system as standard. Their step forwards with USB technology. Now they could be moving a bit quicker than that. Their tailoring, their wool hair, and all that kind of stuff. For the most part, they knock it out of the park more often than not. And that's why this one, I'm being so harsh on this one. Also, the Dark Knight trilogy is my favorite trilogy. Bale is my favorite Batman. The Dark Knight is one of my favorite movies. Christopher Nolan's my favorite directors. The DX-19 is my favorite style of suit, that you know, Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises suit. This head sculpt is terrible. The armory looks great. I love the way it comes with the little, all the little tools and stuff like that that clip in together in a tray and then slot in. I like the look of it. I like it lights up with the white lights. The suit looks great. Don't think the cowl's too good. But this head sculpt here just puts me right off picking this up. And it's unfortunate, like, because, you know, like I said, I think this armory is incredible. I would like an armory. Okay, I'm going to prefer the Dark Knight one, but from what I remember with the prototype of the Dark Knight one that they put up for pre-order shortly after this, shooting himself in the foot, I actually think it's the same with different paint applications and different hairpiece. So I'm going to have to see if they manage to change the paint applications enough to make it look like Christian Bale. Like, don't get me wrong, I know who this is supposed to be, but my God, it's rough. It looks like Christian Bale who's got a load of Botox. So the reason I'm being so harsh in this, because I know that they can do better. They are better than this, and I don't know if did they have the C team or the D team or the F team working on this, but the head sculpt looks like he's dead. I know it's a 6-scale figure. It looks like he's dead. The tailoring on the outfit there, the t-shirt. Come on, how hard is it to get a t-shirt right? But I just want to take another look. Like, that looks rough. Yeah, I'm going to die on this hill, folks. Just looks rough. So they are the 5 biggest misses that, in terms of 1/6 scale releases, that HotToys made this year. Just actually, by the way, this one here, that came out in January 1st of this year. That's why it's included on the list. I think that people might forget that. Yeah, they're the 5 biggest misses in my eyes. Again, just an opinion, just a bit of fun. If you disagree, let me know in the comment section. Be respectful. Yeah, anyway, that's the end of the video. So, if you want to support the channel, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, consider becoming a channel member, and follow me on Instagram and X. That's it. That's the end of the video. See you in the next one. Good luck.